Hey YouTube, I've recently been looking at headphones and I wanted to get a pair of wireless earbuds, and so I came to the decision to get these. These are the Soundcore Life P2s. I thought it'd be interesting to go into sort of why I bought them and whether they'll be any good for anyone else out there. So I got these from Amazon. They were on offer as part of their Summer of Sound sale. I think it was like 20% off or something like that, for about £36. I'll put a link in the description though, and I'll put an image on the screen. So about £36, and they were normally £45. So I wanted to sort of get into wireless earbuds, but I wasn't sure if I'd actually used them that much. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to pay all that money for like the Galaxy Buds. So I thought I'd give these a go. But anyway, if we take a look at the box, look at some of the key specs here. So obviously you got that branding on there, the model number, and you got some of the key features here. You got Qualcomm aptX. Basically what that means is it's low latency, fairly low latency for wireless earbuds. 40 hours playtime on the case, 10 minutes equals 1 hour playtime. So it's got fast charging and it's IPX7 waterproof. 4 microphones. You can see that's the locations on them, and then if we scroll down here, so 7 hours on the actual earbuds themselves. Graphene drivers, one-step pairing, and the pairing is very easy. And then there's all the bits that you're meant to get in the box, and then they're just bragging about how many customers they have, and if you want to read that, you probably don't, but I'll let you. So we open it up. Alright, so this is what you get in the box. So you get a variety of ear tips, so you can fit the ear tips to your personal taste. You get a little USB-C cable so that you can charge up the case itself. And then you've got the case with the earbuds, which is really the bit we care about. So you got quite a nice case. Nice little black blob with your USB-C at the back. We pop it open, you can see in there our earbuds. You've got your left and your right earbuds, and this is what they look like. So you've got your left and your right, so they are the in-ear type design. And you've got a little status right there. So basically, in terms of the pairing, these are very, very simple. So basically, in order to pair them, you pull them out, and that's all you have to do. If it's the first time you're doing it, then search for Bluetooth devices on your phone. This should appear, connect it, and they'll both sync up. And the benefit is as well, you can use just one of these. So if you only want to listen to one, so if you're at work or something like that, then you could have just the one in, and effectively gives you 14 hours of playtime between them, or unlimited depending on how quickly you go through that. Now, control-wise, pretty standard controls on here. You just got the big button on the side. So you tap that once to play and pause, and that works for either earphone. You then, in order to skip, so skip forward, you double tap, and that will skip the song forward. To skip left or back, double tap here, and then to activate the Google Assistant, you just hold down for about a second, and that should activate them. And to turn it off, you just hold down on this little button here, and then that will do it. About 3 seconds. So very easy pairing process. So this is a quick test of the audio of these earbuds. I've got them on max volume. I'm just going to put them up to the microphone and let you guys hear what they sound like. I'm not going to do any lower volumes just because most people tend to listen to their headphones quite high anyway, probably I'd say about 70%, and it's higher up where you sort of see the weaknesses, I think. So what is it like range-wise? Well, it's actually pretty good. I've not tested it as far as it can go, but I have tested it within the limits of my house. And I've tested it indoors at up to, or a minimum of 10 meters, measured with a tape measure. So these indoors with minimal obstructions can get at least 10 meters, which is pretty good, because that was, I reached the maximum of what I could measure. Now, when I had a lot more obstructions involved, so I had my phone upstairs and I went downstairs, so there were a lot of walls and flooring through, then I'd say my range was between 5 to 8 before I started getting, you know, skips, jumps, glitches, that sort of thing. So it was still playing music at that range, but I was getting a lot more glitches that made the listening experience somewhat less enjoyable. And what about the shape of the earphones? Well, because one of the big things that you're probably going to be wondering about with wireless earbuds is, what are they like for exercise? Running, working out at the gym, that sort of thing. Well, they're actually really good. They're pretty comfortable in the ear. I mean, if you don't like in-ear ones, then nothing's going to change. You're still not going to like these because they're just typical silicone type, but they stay in your ear quite well. I've been for a few runs with them and they do stay in. You've got to really push them in and sort of lock them in, but they do stay in. At the start of one of my runs, I did feel like one of the left one was coming out slightly, but I'm pretty sure that was just me being sort of paranoid, and a slight push, and it didn't ever bother me again for the rest of the run. And they stayed in, didn't fall out at all. And I've tried them, you know, jumping, shaking my head vigorously, and they stay in for all of that. The only thing, and that's just because of the way they are, and they've not got any sort of active noise pass through anything. They're just silicone earbuds, and so obviously that can be quite weird if you have both of them in, because you obviously can't hear as much. So if you're going for a run on a road, you might only want to put one of them in, because otherwise you might not hear a car coming and, well, you're dead. But other than that, they perform really well, and the mics on them as well give you pretty good call quality, so you can talk to people while you're running, if you're not running very fast, because I'd be out of breath. So what do I think of them overall? Well, they're really good, solid earbuds. I mean, I got these because, as I said, I don't want to spend too much on a pair because I wasn't sure if I'd use them much. So for me, it wasn't worth spending loads of money on the higher ones. I thought, you know, I could always get them later on. And also for me, you know, sound-wise, these are really good. I'm not an audiophile, but I can definitely tell these are not like cheap headphones, right? So when they get quite low, you can still make out details quite well, and when they go higher, they're not distorted like you tend to get with cheaper wired ones. So they're pretty good when it comes to sound performance. You get better if you bought the more premium ones, but I don't think for someone, you know, if you're not listening to music often or you're not an audiophile, I don't think it's going to be enough of a difference to make it. But let's see what other people think. The other major thing with these is, what are they like for consuming content? So music is obviously the given, right? You're going to buy these probably mainly for music. But there are other things that you might want to use headphones for when you're on train or just commuting and you don't want your audio spewing out so everyone else can hear it. Well, for movies and videos, YouTube, that sort of stuff, more than adequate. And for two reasons. One, you can usually adjust it, so if there is too much latency, you can adjust the audio anyway. But no, as standard, I can watch it quite comfortably. They're not off. You can, if you pay really close attention, tell that there is an ever so slight delay, but it's not enough to make it go out of sync. So it's still very much enjoyable, and they go loud enough to be good. And obviously you've got the in-ear design, so they do cancel noise out quite nicely. Unless you're trying to talk to someone while you're watching the film, then it can be a bit annoying. Gaming is a different story. I'd say they're just about good enough for gaming. I've tried them with a few games now. I've tried them with PUBG Mobile, and I've tried them with Call of Duty, and I've tried them with Polytopia. PUBG and Call of Duty, obviously they're quite competitive games, quite fast-paced shooters. where you're tapping the screen quite quickly. With those, there is a very noticeable latency, to the point where, you know, if you look at the gun, the sounds come quite a way after you've fired the weapon. And I can see if you were playing competitive or something like that, that could be quite a serious disadvantage. But as I played, although it was very noticeable, it didn't seem to hinder me much. But that may vary depending on how much you rely on the audio. But, you know, I think in a smartphone setting at the moment, games aren't really, they don't really have high enough fidelity for that to be a massive issue. But it is an issue. With more casual games like Polytopia, I couldn't tell that there was any sort of delay in the audio. It looked absolutely fine. And so I think for casual gaming, you won't notice any issues. So music and casual gaming are going to be your main things here, and movies. But games, yeah, maybe invest in a wired headset if you're really going to get into your gaming. So, are these worth getting? Yeah, I'd say they are. And they're a good price. £36 on offer. They are well built. They look nice, I think. They're not too overstated. They're not too big. And you got to think as well, right? You could go for the more expensive ones, but if you lose them, and you are likely to lose them, let's be honest, with this size, wouldn't you rather lose £36 than lose £150? I know I would. And the more expensive ones, like the Liberty 2 Pros and the Galaxy Buds, they do have some better features. Well, not better features, but they have more features, like the personalised audio profile that adapts it to how you're listening, or the fact that you can hear outside noise on the Galaxy Buds. But then, on the other hand, that's more stuff that can go wrong, and that's more features that you're paying for that you may or may not use, right? These have all the basics that you're going to use on a day-to-day basis, and pretty much nothing else. And they do those basics really well. And so, for the money, I think you can't do much better than these. So, I would definitely recommend you go out and buy it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you liked the video, go and leave a like, subscribe if you want to, and comment, because I'd love to hear what anyone has to say. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.